Hi everyone, we are the Water Justice Fellows. My name is Annie.
And my name is Michelle.
Next slide, please. Hi, Katie. So, again, my name is Annie. I am a high school junior. I'm 16 years old. I'm from Oakland and I love mangoes.
I'm also a high school junior and I'm 17. I'm from Pittsburgh, and a fun fact is I like to draw. Next slide.
So, what is water justice? Water justice is essentially the right for everyone, regardless of race, gender, class, and any other factors, to be able to have access to clean and affordable water. Next slide. So I want to go over my park project. This is about water quality. So for my project, I tested for bacteria in three different water fountains from Piedmont Park, Bella Vista Park, and Lake Merritt, three different locations. And I had found a higher contamination of bacteria at Piedmont Park due to the water fountain being more unmaintained. So in the bottom left, we have three water samples. The left is from Piedmont, middle is from Lake Mare, and then the right is from Bella Vista Park. So a deeper purple indicates there was little to no bacteria found. And then if it's a lighter purple, as we can see on the Piedmont Park sample, that means there was like at least some bacteria found. So next slide, please. These are the water fountains I took, and I took a picture of. And then I had also created a survey and asked 15 Oakland youth this question: would you drink from these water fountains? So Piedmont Park, majority was no. There was a lot of concerns about the germs and dirt accumulation. When I had gone to the park, it seemed like the water fountain hadn't been touched in weeks almost. And at Lakeside Park Garden Center at Lake Merritt, they were also majority no, but there were two yeses, better than Piedmont. There were just a few concerns about germs and then tampering, but it was a bit more preferred since it was a push button and the water, I guess, comes from the top. And then the third one was Bella Vista Park. We can see that it's much cleaner. So for that, we did have five yeses. There was still majority no, but more people were definitely willing to drink from this fountain because it was cleaner. Next slide, please.
So for this pipeline project, it was the water quality project I had worked on in fellowship. I chose the topic carbon capture and storage because there was a proposed carbon pipeline project in my community. I also wanted to inform people of its potential benefits and its potential impacts it may lead to. Carbon capture and storage is basically a method to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases from being emitted and released into the air. And it's also the process of letting fossil fuels continue to release carbon dioxide into the air. In the process, only the carbon dioxide is captured, and then the captured carbon dioxide is stored and injected deep underground, so that we can continue to burn fossil fuels without the carbon dioxide releasing to the air and without increasing the rate of climate change and global warming. This carbon capture and storage also has its benefits and impacts that can help mitigate climate change but can also lead to environmental and health risks. Carbon capture and storage can lead to acidic water. Acidic water can cause serious health problems as it contains high amounts of heavy metals. Exposure to heavy metals may lead to toxicity and metal poisoning. These high exposures can cause symptoms such as vomiting, shortness of breath, organ damage, and nausea. It can even cause the deaths of marine life and for other sea animals to leave the area. With a lack of oxygen, aquatic life is unable to survive. Carbon capture and storage can potentially lead to harmful algae blooms. These algae blooms produce toxins that can be harmful towards both human health and aquatic life. Carbon dioxide pipelines have also been built near neighborhoods and even young children, especially in communities of color. This connects to environmental justice because people should not have to worry about whether the community is safe, whether their air is clean, or whether they can enjoy being at playgrounds without having harmful chemicals in the atmosphere. Instead, everyone should have the rights to a safe, healthy, and accessible community where they can enjoy fresh air and clean water. Next slide, please.
So I'm going to be going over what Michelle and I did at Lake Merritt. We were actually there with Katie Noonan from Rotary Nature Set of Friends. She's here today. Shout out Katie. We love Katie. There, we conducted monthly water quality monitoring at Lake Merritt and collected data on the ecosystem health. On the top right, we can see a whiteboard that we had filled out with Katie every single time we were there. So we went over Lake Merritt's salinity, dissolved oxygen, just like the temperature, a bunch of other stuff. We also examined and learned how plankton support the aquatic ecosystems and indicated water quality. So we collected plankton samples and actually looked up close with the microscope. It was really cool. Plankton, they shape in all different types of sizes, and they do have benefits for the water. And we had also planted and watered native plants to restore the habitat in Lake Merritt. Next slide, please. So like I said, we were working with Rotary Nature Center friends. On the right, we can see Katie and then Connie, who she also helped us plant some stuff over in Lake Merritt. So they are a volunteer-run nonprofit, which that they support local nature and conservation. They also host events, workshops, and nature programs. They definitely maintain trails, gardens, and wildlife habitats. They help out in Lake Merritt a lot. And they monitor the Lake Merritt water and inform decision makers to make better choices for Lake Merritt. Next slide.
Like Annie mentioned about the monthly water monitoring, there are like pictures on the bottom left that show the data of the water quality at Lake Merritt on March 1st, when me and Annie did water monitoring that day. Water monitoring provides data of water quality that is collected and analyzed to access the condition of water bodies. Monitoring tells us whether the water is safe for drinking, swimming, or fishing. It provides evidence to support decisions on issues relating to the health and the environment. Monitoring allows one to identify any changes or trends over time in the water. We can gather information about existing or emerging water quality problems and create a way to prevent pollution. The data collected is needed to find where pollution sources are, where progress has been made, and where there needs to be pollution control efforts. Water monitoring increases the understanding of our water systems and improves future water management. So, water monitoring is important because it allows us to know the quality of the water. Knowing the water quality tells us if the water is contaminated or too dangerous. Drinking the contaminated water can lead to health effects, such as gastrointestinal diseases and chronic diseases. Gastrointestinal diseases affect the pathway the food takes through your digestive system. Some examples are diarrhea and colorectal cancer. Chronic diseases are health conditions that have lasted a year or more and require you to have medical attention or even limit your daily activities. Examples of chronic diseases are diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. These diseases are caused by toxic chemical pollutants in the water. By knowing your water quality and testing your water can help you to identify if you need to stop drinking your water and to get it tested to prevent you from catching any of these diseases caused by drinking unsafe waters. Water quality monitoring is also important to ecosystems because it allows us to track environmental changes, help protect biodiversity, and helps us understand how to prevent further water pollution. Through water quality monitoring, we are also able to identify the different parameters. The different parameters such as the dissolved oxygen, temperature, salinity, Psyche depth, pH, and the light color. Dissolved oxygen is how much oxygen is in the water. The warmer the temperature in the water, the more reduced oxygen capacity. Salinity measures the amount of dissolved salt. Psyche depth is the measuring of water clarity, and the light color indicates the water quality. Next slide, please. So, me and Annie have been working on a toolkit video in fellowship, and by creating these water quality toolkit videos so that anyone can test the quality of their water using the Water Justice Fellows educational tutorials to make informed decisions and advocate for changes. With this resource, people will be able to identify the different parameters and even bring water quality monitoring to their own communities. Although some tests are more advanced than others, community members can purchase at-home water tests. By testing your water quality, it will show you whether the water you have been drinking has any bacteria or any lead in it. These water quality tests are important in knowing whether or not your health may be impacted by your drinking water and whether if you are in danger of catching any diseases. Throughout fellowship, me and Annie have met at Lake Merritt once a month and have had a Zoom meeting every month. At the lake, we have done water monitoring with Katie, who works with Rotary Nature Center Friends. After collecting data from the water quality monitoring test, from the lake, and from the Zoom meetings we had with Katie, we started to work on the script. This script included of an introduction to who we are, what we have done during fellowship, the history of Lake Merritt, and current solutions towards water justice. There were two scripts, the intro and the conclusion, which me and Annie split the work. We worked on writing and editing the scripts for a couple of weeks, and we also collected footage at the lake to use for the intro and conclusion videos for Toolkit. Once the script was finished and edited, and the footage at Lake Merritt was taken, we started to edit the videos. There were two videos, an intro and a conclusion video. I worked on editing the intro video, and Annie worked on the conclusion video. And we recorded the audios for the scripts and edited it into the videos. And me and Annie continued to edit the videos, and once it was finished, we ended with the final version of the intro and conclusion videos of the Toolkit video. Next slide, please.
Okay, so Michelle and I worked on the toolkit, and then we also made a little sign. It says Water Justice Handbook, and it's very cute. And so basically, Casamont Farm is right next to Arroyo Viejo, a creek in East Oakland. And we basically worked together on a handbook talking about different types of topics. In the bottom left, we can actually see some of things we wrote. So what is water justice, some water data, where pollution begins, and just clean water in general. We distributed the design to a bunch of youth volunteers at Casamont because they were holding a farm day, and just I guess share the importance of what we work on and why everyone should know. And doing farm work restoration can be helpful to reducing water pollution. Next slide, please. Here are some pictures of the farm day. Here we can see chickens. People were able to hold them, feed them. We had some people planting some seeds, getting them started in the greenhouse, I believe. And then just a lot of youth volunteers helping around. It was a very successful day, I believe. Next slide.
So what stuck with me was throughout fellowship, I have learned more about water justice. One topic that stuck with me was green infrastructure, which is the capturing of strong water and using nature to clean it. Being a part of New Voices Are Rising has allowed me to realize how dangerous water can actually be, and the harmful diseases it may lead to. Spending time with Annie as one of the two water justice fellows, with meetings we had together with Katie at the lake and on Zoom has been fun. I enjoyed talking with other fellows and the fishers we would go on every month. My favorite project that I did in fellowship was my water quality project on carbon capture and storage.
So my takeaways overall, I learned more about the water quality and just impacts from it in general. This program has definitely opened my eyes to conserving water better and how humans impact it. I really enjoyed working with Michelle and Katie and then just honestly everyone. I really enjoyed my park project, and I also enjoyed pulling fish traps from Lake Merritt. Didn't include it, but that was a lot of fun because we saw a bunch of little animals like fish and shrimp in Lake Merritt that I didn't know lived there. But next slide. Thank you everyone for listening.